Hi everyone. Let me continue the solutions for the previous IIT questions or previous JEE Mains questions in kinematics chapter. As we know, the kinematics chapter, which includes a motion, one dimension, plane, as well as even the vectors. So therefore, the next question. Tenth one, in which it was mentioned that a particle, a piece of wood is going to be now of mass 0.3 kg is going to be now dropped from a certain height of 100 meters. So therefore, let us put the small diagram, right? A piece of wood is going to be now released from a height equal to 100 meters. The mass of this piece of the wood will be equal to 0.03 kg. It is at the same time a bullet of mass 0.02 kg. From here, a bullet of mass 0.02 kg is going to be now projected with a velocity equal to 100 meters per second, and both are in the same line. Therefore, the block will be coming down and the bullet will be rising it, and after some time, block is going to be now hit by the bullet at a distance of x from the ground. Then remaining distance now will become, it is 100 minus x. The remaining distance now will be equal to 100 minus x, which means freely falling body is going to travel a distance of 100 minus x, and vertical projected body is going to travel a distance of x. So therefore, at this particular position, let us calculate. It is freely falling body, 100 minus x now will be equal to half gt square, because its initial velocity will be equal to 0. Whereas the 100 vertical projected body like bullet will be now traveling, x is equals to, it is ut minus half gt square from kinematics. So when I add these two will get cancelled. It is 100 will be equal to ut, and as you know, u will be equal to 100, even s also will be, or height also will be equal to 100. So therefore, the bullet is going to hit the block after a time interval will be equal to 1 second. Now at this particular position, let us calculate what are the velocities of the block as well as the bullet. Block will call Vb and bullet will call V dash. So velocity of the block now will be, because it is freely falling body, u will be equal to 0, g is 10, and time is equal to 1 second. It is 10 meters per second. Similarly, whereas for the bullet now we'll call as V dash now will be equal to, it is 100 minus g is 10, 1. Time is 1 second. Therefore, this will be equal to 90 meters per second. So bullet is going to hit the block at 90 meters per second, and block is coming down, hitting the bullet with a velocity equal to 10 meters per second, and both their momentum vectors are opposite direction. From the law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum. Law of conservation of linear momentum, we'll write it is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to m1 plus m2 into common velocity. I have to calculate because bullet is being embedded into the bullet block. So mass of the block will be 0.03. 0.03. Velocity of the block will be, just now we have calculated as 10, and mass of the bullet coming down, I'll take it negative, and by going up I'll take it as positive, because both the momentums are in opposite direction. Mass of the bullet will be 0.02 and its velocity is 90, and when I sum up these two, I'm going to get 0.03 plus 0.02 will become 0.05, and common velocity I have to calculate. On simplifying, this leads velocity, common velocity will be equal to, it is 30 meters per second. With this 30 meters per second, right, and that too I am getting positive, therefore definitely the combined system will be going along the direction of positive, which will be going in the upward direction. So how much height it is going to reach, that I have to calculate. Will cos h. H will be equal to, use formula, u square by 2g, maximum height. H max now will be equal to V square by 2G. V square is 30 into 30 divided by G into 10. 90 by 2 will be equal to 45 meters. So therefore, combined system is going to be now raised by 45 meters from here. But what was the distance traveled by this block now, that I had to estimate. The distance traveled with the block now will be equal to half into G into T square is 1. So therefore 5 meters. So therefore 5 meters already it has to cross to reach the highest or 100 meters point. Then beyond that it will be going a distance equal to how much? S dash now will be 45. From 45 meters I have to subtract this 5. Then I am going to get remaining distance will be minus 5 will be equal to 40 meters. Therefore, bullet is going to rise of 40 meters over and above the top of the tower from where the block of wood has been placed. The next question. In a cube of side A as shown in the figure, the vector from the central point of the face ABOD, where is ABOD? ABOD, this left side, and the BEFO will be on the front side. So therefore this will be on the left side and this will be the front side. So I have to find out the vector from G to H. But when I am going to join, the origin to, G, I am going to get a vector called as OG vector. This OG vector will be equal to, this is half the width called as A by 2. This is also half the height, also will be equal to A by 2. So therefore A by 2 along, this is x axis, and A by 2 along z axis. Therefore the vector will be A by 2 into I cap plus A by 2 into K cap. This is along z axis. Similarly, if I join O to this point, I am going to get one more vector called as OH vector. This OH vector will be equal to, it is actually Y and Z. Therefore, A by 2 of J cap plus A by 2 of K cap. He is asking to find out the position vector from the center of the first face to center of the, that is actually, so you want a vector from G to H vector. G to H will be equal to, it is actually OH minus of OG vector. So therefore GH vector, this GH vector will be equal to, what is OH now? It is A by 2 into J cap, A by 2 J cap plus A by 2 into K cap minus of A by 2 into I cap minus of A by 2 into K cap. So therefore these two will get cancelled. If I take out common K, I'll get J minus I. Therefore it is your second option. Simple once again. Let me repeat once again. The midpoint of a face, whenever I want to find out the vector here now, so therefore it is actually the midpoint of the horizontal side and the midpoint of the vertical side. Therefore this intercept will be A by 2, this intercept also will be A by 2. Multiply with the corresponding unit vectors along the x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, right? In this case, first case it is along the x-axis and this along the z-axis. Therefore this multiplied by I multiplied by k will get this vector. Similarly, find the second vector, take the difference, right? This is a very, very important question. Two guns A and B can fire the bullets the speeds of. Therefore, here U1 will be equal to 1 kilometer per second and U2 will be equal to 2 kilometers per second from a point of the horizontal ground, and they are being fired in all possible directions. So therefore, the maximum ratio, the ratio of the maximum areas covered by the bullets we have to calculate, which means, so from this particular point, if the bullets are being fired in all the directions, therefore they will be reaching on the ground, they will be falling on the ground. So therefore that ground is going to cover a circular region. The radius of the circle will become the maximum range. Therefore radius of the circular range will become the maximum range, and we know maximum range is given by the formula U square by 2G. And he is asking to find out the area of the region. Since it is a form of a circle, area will be given by the formula. It is pi into r square. Therefore, pi into u to the power of 4 divided by 4 into g square, in which pi 4 g square is constant. So therefore, when I am going for the ratio of the two areas, simply I am going to get u1 by u2 whole to the power of 4. u1 is u1 is 1, u2 is 2 whole to the power of 4 will be equal to 1 by 16. The ratio will be 1 is to 16. Now, 13th one. A particle starts from the origin at a time t is equals to 0 and moves along the positive x-axis. The graph of velocity versus time graph has been shown in the figure. What is the position of the particle at t is equals to 5 seconds? So therefore, if I go into the graph, so 5 seconds is at this particular point. He is asking the position, which means displacement is asking. So therefore, displacement of the velocity versus time graph is nothing but the area of velocity versus time graph gives a displacement. So therefore, this I can convert into two areas. So this is one fixed, regular figure. Here also one regular figure. This is right angle triangle. This is square, and this is rectangle. Let us call as first one, second one, third one. Therefore, this displacement will be A1 plus A2 plus A3. Area of the velocity versus time graph gives displacement. Therefore, in order to find the area between 5 seconds, I'll get the three regular figures. So area of the right angle triangle, I can use the formula half into base into height plus area of the rectangle. Now square is actual or L into B. L into B plus next one will be L into B. It's also once again a rectangle. So therefore this will be half into 2 into 2 because 0 to 2, 2 minus 0 is 2. And next one is 2 is here on the vertical axis and this is 2 minus 0. Therefore 2 into 2. Breadth is 2, even height also 2. The next case, length is 2, even breadth also 2. And the third case, length is 1 because it is going from 4 to 5 only. And height will be equal to 2. So therefore, height will be equal to 2 or 3. No, height will be going to 3 now. Breadth will become 3. So therefore, this is 2 plus 4 plus 3, 7 plus 2 will be equal to 9. Displacement now will be expressed in meters. 14th. Now, if we see the solution of this problem, two forces P and Q have magnitudes 2F and 3F. Let us write down. So P magnitude will be equal to 2F and Q magnitude will be equal to 3F, and they are at an angle equal to theta. Theta is the angle between them. Okay. Then, if the force is being doubled, if the force Q is being doubled, then the resultant also gets doubled. So therefore, that is the second case I call. In the second case, P will be P only, P will be equal to 2F only, Q only I am doubling you. Therefore, I'll call as Q dash. Q dash now will be double means it will be equal to 6F. Then the resultant is also gets doubled. Previous resultant will be equal to, if I can call as R. Next time R will be equal to 2R I am going to get. Twice that of the double. Clear? So therefore now I know R1 and I2, I know R2. Then the angle between the two vectors we have to calculate. Angle between two vectors I have to calculate. So let us go with the relation as resultant. Then the resultant is also gets double. R value also will be equal to 2R. Therefore, instead of calling, better I'll call as 2R1. R2 will be equal to R1. When I am squaring, I'll get R2 square will be equal to 4 into R1 square. R2 square will be equal to R1 square. What is R2 square? The resultant of these two, no? The result of this. Let me write down here. It is actually R1 will be equal to under root of 2 vectors, which is P and Q. Resultant will be given by the formula. It is 4F square plus 9F square. Which formula I am using, children? It is P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. So therefore here plus 2 into P is 2F into Q is, it is 3F into cos theta. Okay. Further I can simplify when I am using the next equation. Here it will be equal to the resultant of P and Q dash also gives R2. Gives an R2, angle will be same. So therefore here I'll get 4F square plus 36F square plus 2 into 2F into 6F into cos theta. So let us simplify here itself. Then simplified one, let us substitute R2 value. 36 plus 4 will become 40. So therefore I am squaring. On squaring, root will get cancelled. 40F square plus of 6 into 12, 12 into the 24. Therefore this will be equal to 24F square into cos theta. That will be equal to 4 times of R1 square. Now I have to simplify this one. 9 plus 4 will become 13. It is 13F square plus of 3 into 2, 6, 6 into 2, 12. It is 12 into F square into cos theta. Okay. So therefore it is 40F square plus, let us open the bracket. It is 24 into F square into cos theta will be equal to, it is 52 into F square plus 48 into F square into cos theta. Let us transfer onto this one here. Therefore, you'll get minus 24 F square into cos theta will be equal to 12 F square. Okay, F square will get cancel, cos theta value will be equal to minus 1 by 2, which means theta value will be equal to 120 degree. So therefore, it should be a first option. It's purely based on the parallelogram law of vectors. Simply parallelogram law of vectors resulted based on the formula R is equal to root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta. First time he used P and Q as it is. Second time he is doubling Q. Therefore, R also will be double. Right? Use that relation and in that substitute the values of R1 and R2 to get back the convolution. Okay, angle between the two vectors will be equal to 120 degree. Very simple part. Now let us see the 15th one. Two vectors A bar and B bar have equal magnitudes. So therefore, when they are going for the equal magnitude, straight away I can say that A value will be equal to B value. Magnitudes, I can put it as A only, have equal magnitudes. Okay. The magnitude of A bar plus B bar is n times the magnitude of A bar minus B bar. Let us put down the statement. So therefore, magnitude of A bar plus of B bar will be equal to n times of magnitude of A bar minus B bar, children. So what is the formula for this one? Even in place of B also I can substitute as A. So therefore here I am going to get under root of, it is A square, B square also will become A square, and 2 into AB will become 2A square into cos theta will be equal to n into under root of same. It is root of A bar minus B bar will be equal to A square plus B square minus 2AB cos theta. Therefore here I'll get A square plus A square minus 2A square into cos theta. Now squaring on both sides, this will become, roots will get cancelled. This is 2A square plus 2A square into cos theta. And on the right hand side, I'll get n square into, inside the bracket, it is 2A square minus 2A square into cos theta. Okay. Now all A square I can eliminate here. All A square. It is what I am going to get now. 2 plus 2 cos theta is equals to, let us multiply, 2n square minus of 2 into n square into cos theta. Finally, he is asking the angle between them. Therefore, this cos theta term is transferred to the left hand side. You will get 2 into cos theta plus 2n square into cos theta will be equal to 2n square. This will be transferred to the right hand side. Will become, if it is taken out common, n square minus 1. Here also I can take out common. 2 into cos theta, if it is taken out common, I'll get 1 plus n square will be equal to 2 into n square minus 1. So the minus 1, this is 2 will get cancelled. Then cos theta value will be equal to n square minus 1 will be equal to n divided by n square plus 1. So therefore your option will be n square minus 1 by n square plus 1. And therefore theta I have to find out. Theta will be equal to cos inverse of n square minus 1 divided by n square plus 1. So therefore that is your first option. This problem also based on the law of conservation, based on the parallelogram law of vectors. Based on the parallelogram law of vectors, quite simple problem. Next one. A body is projected at t is equals to 0 with a velocity of 10 meters per second at an angle equal to 60 degrees with the horizontal, which means almost the projectile is going like a parabol. Okay. So since it is being projected at an angle with a velocity u will be equal to 10 meters per second, u will be equal to 10 meters per second, theta will be equal to 60 degrees. Therefore, definitely particle will be going in the parabolical path. Okay. Now, what with the horizon? The radius of curvature of this trajectory at t is equals to 1 second is r. At t is equals to 1 second, first of all, we have to identify the particle. T is equals to 1 second. In order to find t is equals to 1 second, first let us find out what is the horizontal velocity component. It is u cos theta. U cos theta will be equal to 10 into cos 60 1 by 2 will be equal to 5. And uy will be equal to u sin theta. It is u is 10, sin that 60 is root 3 by 2 will be equal to 5 root 3. So velocity of the particles initially along x-axis and y-axis, I got it now. Next is, after 1 second, I have to find out. Velocity after 1 second along x-axis will be equal to velocity along x-axis itself, because velocity will not change, because acceleration component will become 0. Hence, the velocity will be equal to 500. But velocity along y-axis will be, since it is a retardation, use kinematics. It is uy minus of into gt. Uy is 5 root 3 minus of g is 10, time will be equal to 1 second. Therefore, 5 root 3 minus 10. So root 3 is 1.7. 1.7 into 5. 1.7 into 5. This value will be lesser than 10. Therefore, definitely you will get a negative value. So since you are getting negative value, we can assume that it has crossed the highest point, maybe somewhere here. At this particular point, you know the horizontal velocity, you know the vertical velocity. But he is asking to find out the radius of curvature. He is asking to find out the radius of curvature. So from the centripetal concept, we have learned that centripetal acceleration is given by the formula A is equals to V square by R. But what is A? Acceleration towards the center. Acceleration towards the center. So therefore, the angle made by the vertical axis with this normal angle will be called as equal to theta. And this theta will be same as the angle measured by the velocity vector. Angle made by the velocity vector component. So therefore, resultant velocity vector component will be along the direction tangent drawn to this one. If this is equal to 5, even this also will be equal to 5. Let us call as 5. Now. Let us find out the value of phi now. It is tan phi. Tan phi will be equal to Vy by Vx. Vy value is 5 root 3 minus 10 is going to become negative, and Vx value will be equal to 5. Therefore, I'll take the magnitude. The magnitude on simplifying phi value will be approximately reaches to, it is 15 degrees. Phi value will be approximately reaches to 15 degrees. And moreover, we have to find even the resultant velocity also. The resultant velocity will be equal to V is equals to under root of, it is Vx square plus Vy square. This requires a little bit lengthy calculation. It is under root of Vx square is 5 square and Vy square is 5 root 3 minus 10 whole square. So this on squaring and simplifying, squaring and adding and taking square root, this value will be approximately equal to 30 are going to get V value. Then acceleration component in this direction will be equal to g into cos phi, and phi value will be equal to 15 degrees. Therefore, radius of curvature from this formula will be actually v square by a. A will be equal to g cos phi. It is v square by g into cos phi. So v square is 30 square, 30 into 30, g is 10, and cos phi, it is cos of 15 degrees. On substituting the value of cos 15 degrees here, this will be approximately equal to 2.8 meters. Approximately equal to 2.8 meters. Now we'll go to the next problem, 17. A particle moves from the point 2i plus 3j. Therefore, let us first put down the diagram. In the diagram, from the diagram, we can get what actually going on for the particle. The particle will be somewhere here. This is called as P point. Therefore, when I join the origin and the P, I am going to get a vector called as R1 vector. The R1 vector is this one. This is your R1 vector. Okay. Next one is with an initial velocity of 5i plus 4j, because the particle is going in the xy plane. Therefore, it will be moving from xy. Let us assume the particle due to this velocity along x-axis and y-axis, it has gone from here to here, maybe somewhere here, called as Q point. Now, it is being acted upon with the constant force which can produce a constant acceleration. Therefore, acceleration is there along x-axis as well as even the y-axis also. Then, with that acceleration, with these initial velocities, the particle might have reached here. But what is asking now? What is the distance of the particle from the origin? That is, it is called R3 vector. This one is called as R1 vector, R2 vector. Now, from the geometry, what we from the triangular concept, it is R3 vector now will be equal to, it is R2 vector. For that, what I have to add? R1. This point keep in mind, children. So initial position vector will be added to the final position vector, to the displacement, to get the final position vector of the particle from the origin. Origin will be somewhere here. Therefore, this point just keep in mind. Now let us go back. Let me calculate what is the displacement along x-axis. The displacement along x-axis is given by the formula. Since it has an initial velocity as well as even acceleration, I can use formula ut plus half at square. What is the initial velocity along x-axis? 5. And after 2 seconds is asking. Therefore, 5 into 2 plus half into acceleration along x-axis 4 is 4 into t square. T square is 4. So therefore, 2 square gets cancelled, 4 to 8, it is 18 I am going to get. But this was actually x2 only. To get R3 I should add R1. No, that is x I should add, x component I should add. Therefore, final position vector, final x component of the position vector will be equal to displacement plus initial, called as x naught. Displacement is 18. Initial is already has gone 2, will be equal to 20 meters. Now similarly, I'll go for along y-axis. For y-axis, once again I'll use formula ut plus half into at square. Initial vertical velocity will be equal to 4. Time will be equal to same as 2 seconds. Plus half into acceleration is 4. 4 into t square. T square will be equal to 4. 2 times it is 8 plus 8. This will be equal to 60. Now, initial final displacement from the origin, if I want to calculate here now, for that displacement, I have to add the initial displacement will be 4. So therefore, it is 16 plus 4 will be equal to 20 meters. Now, R3 vector, since I know the x intercept as well as y intercept, R3 position vector will be equal 20 into I cap plus 20 into j cap. Therefore, if I go for mod, this will be 20 root 2. That is your first option. Okay, children. So now let us move on to the next problem, 18th one, right? A passenger train of length 60 meters travels at a speed of 80 km/h. Another freight train of length 120 meters travels at a speed of 30 km/h. The ratio of the times taken by the passenger train completely to crossing second train when they are moving in same direction and opposite direction. So therefore, before going for this one, first we'll try to understand it. Right. So this is one train whose length will be equal to L1, and there is another train whose length will be equal to how much to L2. This is going with the velocity V1, this is going with the velocity V2, both are going in the opposite direction. When you can say that first train has traveled the second train, the last bogie of the first train should cross the last bogie of the second train, which means the total length will become, right, when they are away. Therefore, this last bogie has to travel the complete length of the second train as well as even its length also, That's why the total distance to travel to cross one or the other now will become L1 plus L2. L1 plus L2, L1 is 60 meters and L2 will be equal to, it is 120 meters, will be equal to 180 meters. That is common for both the train. Even let us observe on the first train or maybe the second train, to cross one or the other, the total length it has to travel will be equal to L1 plus L2 is 120, equal to how much now? 180 meters. Okay. Now, when both the trains are now traveling in the opposite direction, so V relative now will be equal to, it is V1 minus of minus V2, because it is going in the negative direction. So that will be equal to V1 plus V2. Therefore, time in this case will be given by, time will be equal to T by, it is V1 plus V2. Similarly, time T2 when they are going in the same direction. When they are going in the same direction, it is relative velocity of the first one with respect to the second one is V1 minus V2. Right? So therefore, with this velocity now, what I have to calculate now? Instead of calling T2, we'll call as V relative. Then time 2 now will be equal distance by V relative is V1 minus V2. Ratio of the times is asking to calculate. T1 by T2 is equals to T by V1 plus V2 into V1 plus V2 into, it is V1 minus V2 divided by D. D is of course common. So finally left with V1 minus V2 divided by V1 plus V2. So therefore V1 minus V2, V1 is 80 and this one is 30. Therefore 80 minus 30 by 80 plus 30. So therefore this will be 50 by 80 plus 30, no? 80 plus 30 is 110. So therefore this value will be equal to 5 by 11. 5 by 11. Moving in the, no, 5 by 11. He's asking to calculate this. First one is same direction, next is opposite direction. That is, he expected the answer T2 by 2. T2 by T1 now will be equal to 11. That is your fourth option. This is important one, children. It also involves even circular motions. It also involves circular motion. So let us first work it out. Okay. 19th one. A and B are the two particles are moving on two different concentric circles of radius R1 and R2 with equal angular speeds of omega. So A is going in the anti-clockwise direction, B is going in the clockwise direction. Okay. So relative velocity VA minus VB is asking to calculate when after a time interval of t will be equal to 2 pi by 2 omega. So therefore, in the circular motion, angular displacement now will be equal to angular velocity into time. Angular velocity is omega, time is pi by 2 omega. Omega gets cancelled. Therefore, this will be equal to pi by 2, which means you can call as 90 degrees or 1/4 circle you can call. Right. Now, first is, let us concentrate on the inner circle. Inner particle starting from here in time interval of pi by 2 seconds, it will crosses the, or it will be going to the, top of the circle. It is 1/4 of the circle is going to cover. Therefore, at this particular point, velocity v1 will be towards left side. Therefore, let us write down v1 will be equal to r into omega. R is r1, omega is omega, pointing towards left side. That's why I'll put minus I cap. Okay. Now, similarly, even if I go for the second particle which is now lying on the outer circle, let us see what is happening for this. Even after pi by 2 omega seconds, the particle will be somewhere because it is crossing, it has covered the 1/4 of the circle. So therefore, when the particle has reached over here, so therefore here velocity will be given by, tangential velocity is given by the formula v is equals to r omega. R is r2, omega is omega, but this is pointing towards left side once again. Therefore, I'll put minus I cap. Now he is asking VA minus VB. So VA minus VB is equals to V1 minus V2. This one minus this one. This will become positive, this will become negative. Therefore, R2 omega into I cap minus of R1 omega into I cap. I can take out omega into R2 minus, omega is taken out common, R2 minus R1 into I cap. So omega into R2 minus R1. Omega into R2 minus R1 into I is your third option. It's a very interesting problem, children. Right. 20th problem based on kinematics, motion straight line. A particle starts from rest, from the origin from rest, and moves with uniform acceleration along the positive side of x-axis. Therefore, your particle will be moving along the x-axis starting from the origin O, okay, with uniform acceleration. A is the acceleration. Identify the figures that correctly represents a motion. So A stands for acceleration, V stands for velocity, and X stands for the displacement, and T stands for the time. So first he is asking about the acceleration versus time. If I want to find out if I want to plot the acceleration versus time here, in the problem he said that uniform acceleration value is constant. Every time value is constant, therefore it is a straight line. Therefore first option is correct. Next one, velocity versus time. Since it is velocity versus time graph, if I want to plot it here, I'll use the first equation of kinematics now. It is V is equals to U plus AT. Starting from rest, U will be equal to 0. Therefore, V is not directly proportional to T. A is constant. So therefore, graph will be a straight line passing through the origin. Which one? Velocity versus time. Therefore, even B also will be correct. Now, regarding the displacement. Regarding the displacement here, children, if I want to calculate, right, see, displacement versus time graph now. Okay. Now, if I go for the third case, here now, if I start plotting tangent here, tangent at different points. So therefore, slope of the tangent is keep on decreasing. When slope of the tangent is keep on decreasing, slope is decreasing. dx by dt also decreasing, velocity is decreasing. Therefore, you can say velocity is decreasing, which means it is in retardation. Okay, therefore this cannot be given because it said it is uniform acceleration. Whereas when I go for the D graph, in this D graph, displacement is taken on y-axis and time is now taken on x-axis here. Therefore, here at every point the slope is keep on increasing. If the slope is increasing, dx by dt is increasing. Velocity is increasing. Slope is increasing, dx by dt is increasing, velocity is increasing, means it is in acceleration. Therefore, you can give even this also. Therefore, A, B, D are correct. Therefore, you can give first option A. You can give first option A. Right. Second, 21st problem. Stream of river is flowing with a speed of 2 kilometers per hour. So therefore, let us assume that river is now going towards right side with a velocity equal velocity of stream, velocity of river will be equal to 2 kilometers per hour. Okay. Now, a swimmer can swim at a speed of 4 kmph. That is velocity of river with velocity of swimmer with respect to the water or with respect to the river will be equal to how much now? 4. Velocity of swimmer with respect to the velocity of water or a river will be equal to 4. What should be the direction of the swimmer? Direction means angle is asking to calculate with respect to the flow of the river to cross in this straight, which means finally the swimmer has to reach straight here. Therefore, definitely swimmer has to aim in this direction with the velocity of swimmer with respect to the rain, and this value will be equal to velocity of river. Therefore, this angle will be equal to theta. So opposite side, adjacent side, I know. I'll go for sine theta. Sine theta now will be equal to VR by VSR. VR is 2, VSR is 4. So therefore, sine theta value will be equal to 1 by 2, which implies theta value will be equal to 30 degrees. So 30 degrees. So therefore, boat has to be rowed at an angle of 30 degrees with the normal. But he's asking with the river. Therefore, additional 90 we have to calculate. Then theta dash now will be equal to 90 plus 30 will be equal to 120 degree with the stream or with the river. Therefore, option will be D. Next, 22nd problem. Displacement is given as x is equals to at plus bt square minus ct cube. What exactly is asking to be A, B are constants? So when the particle attains zero acceleration, then its velocity is definitely I should find the expression for the velocity as well as when acceleration. So velocity is given by dx by dt. On differentiating here, I'll get a plus 2bt minus 3ct square. Okay. Acceleration will be given by dv by dt. So that is given by this will become 0. Therefore, 2b minus of 2 will come down. No? Therefore, you get 6ct. He said that acceleration will be equal to 0. Put acceleration will be equal to 0. Therefore, when I am equating, I can find the value of time. Time will be given by 2p by 6c will be equal to b by 3c. So therefore, after finding the time here, he is asking to find the velocity when the acceleration is becoming 0. So when the acceleration is becoming 0, I know. Therefore, corresponding time is substitute here. Therefore, v will be equal to a plus 2b into t is b by 3c minus 3c into t square. T square will be b square by 9 c square. I have to square down. So 3c will cancel here down 3 times and c will get cancelled. So therefore this value will be equal to a plus it is 2b square by 3c minus of b square by 3c. So from 2 by 3 minus 1 I am doing. From 2 by 3 b square I am doing, b square by 3c I am doing. So therefore 2 minus 1 will become 1. It is a plus b square by 3c. A plus b square by 3c plus b square by 3c. Second option. Now 23rd one. In the 23rd problem, right? Position vector has been now given. What is the magnitude of acceleration after t seconds? From where position vector will go for the velocity. From there we'll go for the acceleration. So therefore our velocity will be equal to dr by dt on differentiating what I am going to get here. So 15t square will become 30t into I cap plus of 4 will become 0 and this will be minus of 2 will come down. So therefore I'll get minus of 40 into t into j cap. So therefore acceleration now will be, it is dv by dt. Second derivative of this one will be 30t will become 30 into I cap Here plus into minus will become minus of 40, dt will get cancelled, will be into j. So therefore now acceleration I got it, but he is asking after 1 second, because it is now acceleration is independent of time, because no expression of time here, no term of time in the given expression, therefore independent. Straight away we'll go for finding the magnitude of the acceleration, because he's not asking the vector form. So when we go for the maximum magnitude, this will be equal to 30 square plus of 40 square will be equal to 50 square, under root will become 50 meters per second. 24th one. A shell is fired from a fixed artillery gun with an initial speed u such that it hits a target on the ground at a distance r. R will become range. So shell was fired from here, it is going to hit the target at distance equal to r. R will become range, and u is the initial velocity and theta is the angle of projection. This much we can introduce here. If T1 and T2 are the values of the time taken by it to hit the target in two possible ways. What are the two possible ways here now? Nothing but the complementary angles. Theta 1, if I can call as theta, definitely complementary theta 2 will be equal to 90 degree minus theta. For these two angles of projection, complementary angles, range will be same. Range will be same. Okay, this also we have understood. Next, T1, T2 are the values of time taken by hit. So T1 for the theta 1 angle of projection and T2 for theta 2. Let us calculate those values. T1 will be equal to 2u, time of flight now, 2u into sine theta by g. Similarly, T2 I have to calculate. T2 will be equal to 2u into, this is sine of, instead of theta I should go for 90 minus theta divided by g. So therefore, now on simplifying, sine theta minus sine of 90 minus theta will become cos theta. Therefore, you get 2u into cos theta divided by g. Okay. So now options he's actually asking to find the product of T1 T2. Let us find the product of T1 T2. T1 T2. When I am finding the product here, 2 2 will become, let us write 2 separately, 2u into sine theta in by g into 2u into cos theta divided by g. But all the options are in terms of r. What is r? R is range. Range will be equal to u square into sine 2 theta divided by g, formula children. So therefore r will be equal to, let us expand the half angle using the half angle formula, u square into 2 into sine theta into cos theta divided by g. So therefore we require u square. Yes, u square is there with me, u square, and 2 I can consider sine theta or cos theta also there, divided by g. So therefore all will become g, therefore it will become as r. 2 into remaining is r, 2 into r by g. So that is your fourth option. This problem is based on the path of a projectile is a parabola. Definitely at this particular stage, student should remember what is the standard equation and what are the values of the constant source. Let me discuss that one. This standard equation of a parabola is given by y is equals to a into, it is sine theta, y is equals to a into ax, y is equals to ax minus of bx square. But a will be equal to tan theta and b will be equal to g by 2 u square cos square theta. Let us write. A will be equal to tan theta into x, b is g by 2 into u square into cos square theta into x square. Okay, which means a is tan theta, b is this one. So therefore, in the given equation, he said that y is equals to 2x and 9. Definitely, children, tan theta will be equal to 2 and g by 2 u square cos square theta will become 9. So therefore, now let us compare. Now, on comparing, tan theta must be equal to 2. Put a small right angle triangle. Okay. Small right angle triangle. If I take this as equal to theta, this will be 2 and this will be 1 and this will be equal to root of 5. Why I am drawing this one? Because once the triangle, all the three sides of a right angle triangle have been known to us, then we can go for all the six trigonometric function values can be obtained. Sin theta, cos theta, tan theta, secant, cosecant, cotangent, everything can be obtained. So therefore, for that purpose, I have drawn the triangle. Okay. Next is, he is asking to what will launch an angle. Theta is asking to find out. Okay. Theta now I can express. But theta has expressed in terms of sin and cos, not in terms of tan. That's why I'll go for sin theta first. So sin theta will be equal to opposite by hypotenuse, 2 by root 5, which implies that theta will be equal to sin inverse of 2 by root 5. Similarly, next one. Cos theta value will be equal to 1 by root 5 because both options are being given. Therefore, theta will be equal to cos inverse of 1 by root 5. Even both are correct. Sin inverse of 2 by root 5, sin inverse of 2 by root 5 and cos inverse of 1 by 5. 1 by root 5. Both are correct. To know the correct option, we required even the second value also. For that, we had to find the value of V0 or initial velocity. Now, this constant value has been given as 9, no? Therefore, now what I can do? 9 value will be equal to, it is g by 2 into u square. Instead of u square, he is calling as V0 square. Let it be into cos square theta. Okay. Therefore, this value will be g. G is 10. Shall I take? Okay, g value is given as 10. G value is given as 10 divided by 2 into V0 square, we don't know, into cos theta. What is cos theta, children? 1 by root 5. Therefore, on squaring, I'll get 1 by 5. So left hand side, right hand side, both will equal to, then we'll find the V0. So V0 square will be equal to, so 10 into 5 divided by 2 into this 9 also will come down. 2 how many times, children? 5. So therefore 25 by 9. Therefore V0 value will be equal to root of, it is 25 by 9. On simplifying, I'll get 5 by 3. So V0 will be equal to 5 by 3. V0 will be equal to 5 by 3. Therefore, first option, second option, even fourth option is correct. But with respect to first, second, and fourth, we go for angle also. So theta cos inverse of 1 by 5. Cos inverse of 1 by 5. And V value into 5. Therefore, you can go for first option. Unless and until you cannot find the values of sin theta, cos theta, and even V0, we cannot predict the answer. We cannot predict the answer. Next one. Two particles are being projected from the same point with the same speed such that their maximum, they have the same range. For same range, angles of projection should be complementary. Theta 1 will be equal to theta and theta 2 will be equal to 90 degree minus theta. Okay. Now let us find out the value of H1. H1 will be equal to u square into sin square theta divided by 2g. And H2 value will be equal to u square into sine of, next time angle will be, second angle will be complementary, 90 minus theta into whole square divided by 2g. So here it is u square into cos square theta divided by 2g is the value of H1, H2. But see, if we can compare, all the options are in terms of H1, H2. Definitely I have to multiply H1 and 2. That is, find the product of H1, H2. It is u square into sine square theta divided by 2g into u square into cos square theta divided by 2g. Now, the other options are in terms of this also 2 here, no? 2 should be here. No? It is all r squares. 2 should not be here, 2 should be on the top. Superscript. Okay? This is t square, this is r square, this is r square. R square will be equal to 16 H1 H2 and r square will be equal to H1 H2 like this. Now, r value is in the simplified form u square sine 2 theta 2 into sine theta cos theta divided by g. If I am going for r square, because all the options are in r square, it is 4 into u to the power of 4 square, no? It is sine square theta into cos square theta divided by g square. Now check up. In the given equation, sine square theta is there, okay, cos square theta is there, okay, no issue, no issue. Even g square also will be there with me. But what is there here now? Numerator 4 and u to the power of 4, u square, u square. Numerator 4 is not there. That's why I multiply with 4, divide with 4. Then what are the terms which are going to become r square? R square is u square will become u to the power of 4, u square, u square. Sine square theta, cos square theta is there with me. Into 4 also there, the numerator, into 4, divided by g square. Now what are the left terms here? This complete red circle will become r square. And in the denominator I am going to get 4 into 2, 8, 8 into 16. Therefore this value will be equal to r square by 16. So therefore on cross multiplying, r square will be equal to 16 into h1 into h2. R square will be equal to 16 into h1 into h2. That is your first option. That is your first option. Okay. We'll stop here, children. We'll continue afterwards. Thank you.